Match at hand, our first one, the LA Gladiators versus the New York Excelsior. I guess it's time to do our job, Matt. I don't know.
I can see Mitch's face. He's just so disappointed. These ultimates, the Gladiators use absolutely nothing. Transcendence here available here for that grab, and you also have the Immortality Field in the way. Yaki's able to get a kill out of it, but here comes the rest of the Gladiators.
And Kellen's back on the Doomfist. He gets nanoed, but you don't really want to spar with an Orisa, and he gets his jump messed up. Here's a Terra Surge, and slams Kellen down like a pancake. About farming and keeping, extending what you have if you're the Gladiators, as Reiner thinks he wants a second chance at this. He gets back into the mech using the self-destruct when he loses his life. Dives towards the point to try and keep the overtime wick burning, or at least start it.
Yes, Translocator got killed like right away. Oh, that is a sick sleep.
Oh, Flora's pissed. EMP. It's gonna be the game winner for New York. It drops, it only hits Kevster. You stop him from blinking for 2 seconds, and no one was able to capitalize on that. New York was able to heal back up thanks to the Transcendence. That was a moment of stabilization that New York needed, and Glads could not touch in time. New York will be taking map 1. He is missing in action. It's up to the DPS to stand apart. Hole 1 will have the Nano, and you can see that he's being pinged on the left corner. The Gladiators know he's there. The Nano goes to Flora. He's not managing to get any hacks, and how can you? Because Reiner is swinging for the fences with this Nano Primal to try and push the Transcendence off the map. It was so close. And this is the final fight for Gladiators with Point B in their sights. They don't have skewed, but supports are being traded out left and right. You gotta deal with Yaki. He's already killed 2. And it's just Shu on the cart. Happy kind of left and forgot to keep contesting, so Glads will not be capping B. He's probably expecting the skewed trans, but if he's not here, he can't use it, but they have to pop the bubble. And Glads ended up saving themselves because of that. Reiner got slept, but he is woke. He tosses somebody off the high ground, and there's that late trans from Skewed and Gangnam Jin, as there's a lot of chaos on the high ground, but Yaki lands a very important stick on Shu, and that means Glads have very limited heals, and they're on a limited clock on how this fight will break down. New York, by the way, have been pushing the cart almost this entire time, so this is going well for them. Be somewhere funny because Glads had an eye on their castle. Now Reiner will be back on the Doomfist, and spawns are real close. Yaki pulls his Shu, and the kills are falling for New York. Yaki gets pulls because he's popping off, but this bomb from the Ash of Happy was the last-ditch effort to just stabilize and keep the cart from not moving. This 2.5 minutes for New York has dwindled down to overtime, and Glads are under fire. It's all 4 of New York here and spraying these doors down. Happy's back on the Symmetra to just give them a teleport, an easier way to get back to the cart, and as he's been left alone, he's charging up. He's killed 2. How are New York choking this? It was 4v1. Are you serious?
As that is kind of like New York's season right now.
But it's been shredded down, so there's no Bob, and overtime will dwindle down. The Gladiators have to have point presence. Reiner's primaling, but he hasn't killed anything. He's only really summoned the Transcendence from Gangnam Jin, but that is a fight-winning pulse bomb from Kevster on the Hole 1. But what else can Gladiators do? Well, they're going to poke at range, chase down Flora. Does he manage to translocate out? He doesn't. So New York have folded, and Gladiators will manage to cap A somehow.
Yeah, it's about time.
Yet, so you at least have a source of healing for Glads. All that pocketing has to go into Reiner. He's shoving and bullying everyone out of his way, and Kevster hits an important pulse in the Hole 1. And that defense is just over for the New York Excelsior, who won't be able to stand tall on point B. And Glads through overtime after overtime. Need a good nano target, maybe Kellen, if he has a lot of energy, and they do believe he does, and 2 kills already for New York. 5-on-3, Reiner is nanoed, and he has a self-destruct. He's gonna lay it down. Can you get away? Kellen surely has a bubble. Gives 1 to his teammate, 1 to himself, survives it. New York anchored on the point, and Glads nowhere to be found. Line Skewed evaporates, and Shu is left on his own to try and heal what's left of this defense. You got Reiner and Kevster working around the cards, and it's 2v4, I think, and Glads are just not in a position to keep this going. So a good chance for Flora. I mean, that was a great EMP from Flora to wait for the Transcendence.
Potentially another scenario where New York not able to finish off the game as they try and have Yaki go in, trying to make a play for Reiner. It's going to have to get back on in touch, which does keep going overtime.
Kellen's back on the Doomfist. Flora's about to decloak from under Saloon to touch next, but they're actually killing things. Oh, the Bob is there. Yeah, the Bob is is tanky and a problem. So New York will not be capping B. And Glad's go to match point. Haven't died yet, so it's about just nanoing Kellen soon. And yeah, he was at half health, but Reiner gets nano too, but he gets woken up from getting slept. Hohen's gonna write a stern letter in the morning about that. Happy EMPs. Excelsior are now losing some support. Hohen has to heal everyone all by himself, and Kellen throws the grab to try and get the trades that New York needs, but one by one they fall, and it's only two left in New York to keep this going.
I think maybe to try and make it a little bit more dangerous to come in is that'll be the grab from Kellen. The Transcendence used by Shu, just not able to make it to be able to help out Reiner and co. As now the bot's going to still get going here for New York.
Yeah, through the Transcendence, Glad still lost 2 people, and now a 3rd one. They're getting staggered.
It'd be very difficult. This would be like a huge blunder by New York.
Oh, and even when the Matrix came out from Reiner, you go for the melee because you can't Matrix that. And Flora Yaki had the pinch maneuver. Skewed is dead. This is disaster for Gladiators. They don't have Skewed or Happy, and Reiner doesn't have a mech. You could even get, they were at 2 meters, and they're barely able to even take a fight before the fight came to them. New York Excelsior will be forcing a K5.
Get this in. The Zarya starts to get charged off those bubbles, and everybody starts falling.
Kellen is just spy checking. He's not crazy, we swear, but well, let's see what Flora's cooking back here at EMP as New York stomp forward and start burying Gladiators 6 feet under. That's another back-to-back fight for New York. Glad's just kind of hunkering down. EMP from Happy only hits Gundam Jin, and it's not a kill they can execute quite yet, but they're so low. Reiner really wants it. He'll even Primal. He's tossing up Callan in the corner. Surely he's dead. His energy's reset. And that's a big momentum killer for New York, especially playing on a Zarya. So, I mean, the burst potential is insane when you all get hacked like that. And New York maybe overstayed their welcome. They go back to the point to flip. It's 99% in their favor, and they're only missing Flora. Yaki, if he gets a stick, that'll be the end of the fight, but you poke down Funny Astro. Who's next to touch? It's Reiner on the Doomfist, and he doesn't miss being on that hero whatsoever. New York Excelsior will take round 1. This backline of New York is looking not so healthy. Hohen's trying his best. Glad's just bunker down on the point. They know that's where the New York Excelsior want to go, but this exposes New York's backline as Glad's went back to the point, so Shu is not there, and neither is Kevster. Yaki wins that duel. Happy's translocated back towards Mini, and Yaki's on the hunt to try and see where he is, stop him from escaping, and at the very least, New York flip. They're so close to being there, but New York are there to deny it. Kellen gets hacked. Happy with the EMP. Kellen throws the grab to stop Glads from stomping them into the floor. But as the cards fall on the table, Gladiators are on top of this fight and on top of this round. And just like the first time, the first map ever, Glads will be sending us into round 3. Off guard, some fun tech, but he just decides to surprise him there. A Wraith and a Bubble. New York unaffected. A defensive Maywall comes up from Kevster to protect Reiners. They re-engage with the sound barrier of Funny Astro. And this Death Boss may get nothing because of that support ultimate. So Kellen throws the grab as plan B, and Yaki just funnels all the damage in that. Glads tried to throw a Blizzard defensively, and it really didn't stop the pain train that is New York. Once Funny Astro is dead, New York are back in the driver's seat.
Right in through the shield and piercing it and killing him, but ends up working out for them in the long run anyway.
Oh, Happy. That's a good headshot, but Flora does the same thing. So Glads are only ahead by 1, but they don't have Shu, so you have limited heals, but you do have speed, which can catch New York off guard. Kellen's going to get beat to death and his energy reset. And that's maybe a momentum killer for them. We'll have to see. 95+% for New York, and it'll be the flip for Glads. Oh my god, they almost booped them off before overtime. That would have been so funny. Either way, Glads are okay for now. Somehow you just hit a random shot onto Yaki as he was just trying to cross down the staircase. And now you just go for a free shatter on the backline. And that's a big investment for Glads, but it's the last fight, so it doesn't really matter. New York, do they have anyone that can touch the point?
Touch?
That's just how the series ends, just like how you predicted at the Prophet of Overwatch, Mr. X, saying this is very New York, how this series ends. The LA Gladiators remained undefeated, but pushed all the way to a Game 5.
So it looked like they were trying to set up for Ho1 to get the nano. They got it, and then as soon as they got it, Kevster is able to find a pick on.